This is from a mother who writes and says, I think I need some help seeing something more clearly. My daughter, Laura, received an email from her school informing her that after she took her final examinations, like everybody else did, the administration seems to have just lost the answers to all of the exams in one subject. So not just her, but all the exams in one subject, and she was one of them. They just vanished, or they were deleted, or who knows, into cyberspace. So now she has to take the exam again next month. In an attempt to be fair, the school has said that this will be considered a first attempt, not a repeat exam, which is looked on less favorably, and the questions will be comparable to the first test. A minimal attempt at justice. They really screwed up. I mean, this is really a major screw up for a kid. You study, you get yourself up, you get emotionally prepared, you take it, and you have to do it again. Not all that funny. And they're trying to make her feel like they're doing her a favor with these, frankly, minimal gestures about it being considered a first exam, and that it would be similar to the one where the results were lost. It's kind of laughable that they would, because they're congratulating themselves for these meaningless gestures, but there they are, and there you go. So that's done. You can fuss about it till you're dead. It won't be worth it. So now it's, what are you going to do about it? And it's a big thing. You continue. Laura is very unhappy about this and doesn't want to study for the exam again or take it again. Of course she doesn't. Her attitude, however, toward the mistake made by the school is the thing. It's not their mistake. It's how she responds to it, because welcome to life, baby. Injustices are going to occur nearly every day. You can't stop those. You can make a decision how you're going to respond. She's about to take actions either as a result of conscious choices, which hopefully you'll teach her, or as a reaction to being victimized. Life-changing choice. Mom says, Laura has a real fear around exams. In the past, she has actually become depressed and cut herself as a result of taking tests. And she complains that they're making her take the test during a month that she was supposed to be on vacation. All true. She wants to enjoy the time off without having to study again. And overall, she thinks that this is just, and this is a very favorite phrase amongst kids, so unfair. And Mom says, I've heard the word unfair from her a lot. Yeah, so unfair, grief. It's almost like a battle cry of the victim. I wonder aloud how often I have heard people describe an injustice against them as just unfair. One word. Nah. No, it's always so unfair, horribly unfair, unbelievably unfair, and on and on. Kind of like people describing a cold. When was the last time you heard somebody say, I had a cold? No, I had a bad cold. Because that's then used to justify whatever it was they then subsequently didn't do. So we don't refer to injustices as mild. They're bad. It's a reflection of our overall societal attitude of victimhood. Mom, what Laura wants is for the school to give her a grade based on her past performance in the subject overall during the semester before the test, as though there were no final exam. Not stupid. And she got support for that idea from her mental health counselor, who wrote a letter explaining that Laura is unusually stressed by tests and should not have to take the test again. Not unreasonable. You have quite an opportunity to teach her something here, though, about life and the world, much more important than whether she takes the test or not. If she wants to be happy in life, she needs to see this entire ordeal as only an inconvenience, but actually not unfair at all. And we'll get to that in a minute. How she responds to this potential stress will be determined largely by how she sees it. How is this event, this mistake, to put a fine point on it, how is it not unfair? Because pretty much everybody would agree, yep, that's unfair. Easy. Let's look at what truly is fair so that we can see that this is not unfair. She gets to receive, it's fair that she gets to receive an education at all. That's actually more than justice. It's a blessing. She gets to receive an education based on the promises given to her by the government and others. It's a big promise, and it has been fulfilled. That's fair. But see, the fairness followed a real offering, because in many places you can't get an education. 2, she gets to learn a great number of subjects and choose from those what she wants to focus on for a career. That's an incredible privilege. Again, past fair. 3, it's fair that the rules in the school apply to everybody, not just her. She's not the only one affected by this mistake. Other people will have to take the test again too. 4, it's fair that overall the school has a sense of integrity. Overall, consistent consequences for choices, uniform standards for behavior. They're transparent with their intentions and their rules, and they have clear rewards for effort and merit, or the lack thereof. That's fair. And last, it's fair that, most important, she gets to make her own choice here. That's the ultimate justice in the world. Actually, it's also the ultimate gift, that she gets to choose how she responds. She's not forced to respond in a certain way. Now, that's just how this present event is fair. It gets much bigger. What's really fair is that we all, the essence of fairness, get to make choices about how we think, what we say, what we do. That's fairness and agency and freedom. And part of that entire system is that other people, here's the part where it gets to more fair than just cool. Other people, not just us, also get to choose as they wish. And as we all have the right to choose, that would necessitate our also having the right to make mistakes. All of us, since they're unavoidable. All. That's what fair means, all. That we all get to. We all have a relatively equitable chance. There's no way around that if we're learning and growing. Laura has certainly made many mistakes that inconvenience other people. So now here's fair. So how could she possibly believe that it's unfair that other people get to make mistakes that inconvenience her? Does she ever say, it is so unfair that I inconvenience that other person? No. Now that's unfair. She makes a mistake and inconveniences somebody. She doesn't say anything. Somebody makes a mistake that inconveniences her. Suddenly it's unfair. Clearly, no, it's not. She wants a world where everyone else is inconvenienced, but not her. And that is the definition of not fair. That's the world she lives in. So while we're talking about what's fair, let's talk about what is unfair or unjust in Laura's life. She lives under your roof, enjoys the mortgage payments you make, the heating and air conditioning that you pay for, the food, the long list of endless insurances for everything, and on and on. And she does nothing to earn any of that. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it, but she doesn't earn it. It's inherently unfair that she receives so much more than she gives to the function of the home. It's the very definition of unfairness. She gets a lot and doesn't give relatively a comparable contribution in return. I am not saying that she shouldn't receive these things, only that the entire concept of fairness in her world is one-sided. More unfairness. When she makes a mistake and inconveniences other people, it's a small matter. If they inconvenience her, well then Congress must be reconvened and emergency measures taken to ensure that such a tragedy never occurs again. The idea of fairness is a very tough concept for people to get, especially while they are being inconvenienced. but there is no other construction of fairness or justice that could work. It's either justice for all or for none, if you really want to be fair. So now she has yet another choice. 1, she can be grateful for all that she does have and enjoy her life, inconveniences and all. Or 2, she can fuss and complain about this relatively minor inconvenience. It's not like she was just notified she had cancer and has to be in chemotherapy for a year. She can complain about this minor inconvenience all day, or many others that will be coming for the rest of her life, and she will feel victimized, helpless, angry, and unhappy. No kidding. Door number 1 or door number 2. And I'm not oversimplifying this. There simply is no world where everything goes your way. And it's not just anyway. Now, can she try to avoid this particular inconvenience? Of course. She could ask them to give her a grade for the test that is consistent with her overall performance in the class. That's reasonable. It's logical. It's worth asking. But she would have to be prepared emotionally to accept their answer, perhaps their denial, or she's not really making a request. She's demanding one-sided justice. I would not recommend that she include with her request the letter from the mental health worker, because it makes her into a pathetic victim who deserves special attention. There's no special in fairness. It will make her feel weak in ways that you cannot fully imagine now, to have her continually rescued. And she'll continue to look for special ways or unfair ways to get out of other requirements in the future. I would not recommend that she refuse to retake the exam if the school's answer is no to her request, which I'm sure has occurred to her, to just say, I won't do it, because then they can simply fail her in that subject. They have the justification to do that. They have the power. They have all the cards. And they can show that they gave her an opportunity to take the test and she refused it. In the long run, it really doesn't matter that the school made a mistake. Let's assume they did. So what? It matters how she learns to respond to it. Welcome to the rest of your life, kid. Your character is not determined by what happens to you, only by how you choose to respond to those things and how you choose to make decisions proactively without a precipitating event to respond to. No matter how you choose to respond, like requesting that a grade be given without the exam, paramount is Laura not feeling like a victim, not feeling small and treated unfairly, because it's not true. Kids will often complain that life is unfair, as do most adults. But what they really mean is that they didn't get what they wanted, with a nearly complete disregard for the rights of other people to choose. Other people must be able to choose. If we can, so can they, even if those choices are mistakes, which is the real proof that they are truly free to choose. You can teach Laura that she enjoys the unspeakable justice that she can make her own decisions, and that the justice is you can make your own decisions, but you have to deal with what follows, which is sometimes inconvenient. She gets to make her own decisions, and that if we follow the law of happiness, or the laws of happiness, if we feel loved and we're loving and responsible, happiness is a guarantee. Screw-ups are still going to happen, but we're guaranteed that we'll be happy, no matter what the circumstances are that swirl around us. If we live congruent with those laws, the rewards are predictable. That is justice. That's true justice. You live by the law, then you get the consequences of the law. That's justice. That's the definition of it. No matter what the inconveniences are that unavoidably beset us. Teach her that people in the world scream for an immediate and consistent condition where they get all they want. And that's a distorted and shallow and perverted sense of what I call micro-justice, that is not fairness at all. The universe rarely rewards those who seek this kind of fairness. If you plant a seed in the ground and you scream for an immediate harvest because you really, really wanted it, or because you think it would be fair, considering all the effort that it took you to put the seed in the ground, maybe you had to plow the soil or whatever, you've defined again a foolish, shallow, twisted, self-serving, and immature justice that will simply cause injustice for others. There's plenty of justice in the world. We are appropriately rewarded overall, not perhaps moment by moment, for our wise and loving choices, as well as for our selfish ones. We just don't like the real definition of justice. Oh, and what about mercy? Abundant mercy is proven by the very fact that we're allowed to make choices at all and learn from them. There's a lot here for you and Laura to learn together.